What's good, people? Thanks for choosing Total Payout Podcast. This your host, Trouble. Today's day, March 20th, 2026. Go ahead and get yesterday out the way, man. We got bumped yesterday. I think Kawhi Leonard did get scratched. He was on the injury report back to back. He sat on the bench. And then we had Paolo in Orlando. We had Orlando plus 5.5. We had Paolo going over 31.5 points of rebounds. Orlando got beat, took to the backyard again, man. Got beat down, just like the Atlanta game. Might be some with them on the road, man. They ain't looking like the same team on the road as they is at home. It's back-to-back road games they got stumped on. So gonna keep an eye on that. Orlando on the road might not be a good play. Like I say, Paolo didn't hit the 31.5 over. He got pulled early in the fourth. Coach got ejected. Right then and there, I knew it wasn't going to be a good situation. So, they was already getting blown out then, but you just kind of see right on the wall. Coach didn't want to be there. But move on, man. We're going to go ahead and get to the today's picks. We got 3 picks online today. We got Atlanta versus Houston. We got Toronto versus Denver. And then we got Portland versus Minnesota. So let's go ahead and get to it, man. We got Atlanta versus Houston is the first game we're going to handicap. It's a second meeting, obviously an East-West Coast game, so it's going to be their final meeting of the year. January 29th was their first meeting, home game for Atlanta. Houston minus 6.5 came through. Houston on the money line, 104.86, a shellacking. Under 224.5 was the total. Head-to-head last 10, 5-5 straight up last 10, so they're even. Atlanta is 7-3 against the spread last 10, and then the under is 5-4-1 last 10. Now, Atlanta's profile, 10-1 against the spread last 11. They're 10-0 straight up last 10, but they're 2-4 straight up last 6 versus Houston. Now, Houston profile, they're 1-5 against the spread last 6, 2-4 straight up last 6, 15-5 straight up last 20 versus the East. They're 3-12 last 15 against the spread in March, and they're only 4-6 against the spread at home versus the East. Now, home and away against the spread, Houston is 20-14 against the spread away from home, while Atlanta is 20-14 against the spread away from home, while Houston is only 12-21 against the spread at home. Now, my personal pick has this game at Houston minus 5, total around 228, 229. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take a flyer on this game, man. I'm going to go ahead and take the dog in this game. I did take Houston money line last 2 games against the Lakers. They beat me. I was going to wait a game or 2 on Houston, but I got to pull the trigger with the dog in this game. Only team that's better than the Lakers right now is Atlanta. So I just feel like the gambler in me, the handicapper in me, cannot bypass Atlanta playing the way they're playing, and Houston playing the way they're playing, and Houston just laid the egg against the Lakers. Obviously, they can wake up, they can do their thing against the Eastern Conference. Their pride can show up, but I can't in kindness. I can't common sensely take Houston right now when I just faded the Lakers and they beat me. So Atlanta's the only other team better than the Lakers right now. Better than the Lakers right now, so I have to go ahead and take Atlanta plus the 4 points. Book it. So now the second game we're gonna handicap Toronto versus Denver. This is another East-West, so it's gonna be their second meeting, so their final meeting of the season. First meeting December 31st, home game for Toronto. Denver plus 7.5. Denver did come through on the money line, 106-103, under the total of 230.5. Now their last 10 head-to-head, Denver's 8-2 straight up. Toronto 6-4 against the spread last 10, and the over is 7-3 last 10. Now Toronto is 4-2 against the spread last 6, 4-2 straight up last 6. They're 6-2 last 8 versus Denver against the spread, but they're 0-5 straight up last 5 versus Denver in Denver. Now Denver's profile, they're 4-2 against the spread last 6, 4-1 against the spread on Fridays, and they're 8-3 straight up last 11 on Friday at home. Now against the spread home and away, Toronto was 19-14 against the spread away from home, and Denver is 16-16, 500 against the spread at home. Now my personal line has Denver minus 5, total around 229, 230. Now I'm gonna go ahead and come with the dog on this one as well. I got Toronto minus 7 in this one. Obviously, we're getting 2 points based on my line. I just think Toronto away from home obviously plays better. They match up well with Denver. I mean, obviously, Jokic dominates everybody, but as far as the wings go, they're gonna give Denver a problem. If they can hold up in that light air in Denver, I think they're gonna give Denver problems on the wings. Scotty, you got some players over there, Brandon Ingram. They're gonna do their thing over there, man. I think they're gonna go ahead and go in Denver. They might shock us. You know what I'm saying? Denver just lost to Memphis. And I've been on Memphis like a week straight, getting boatloads of points, and Memphis losing by 30 to everybody, and then Denver lets them money line them. So I don't know if Denver right, man. I don't know what's going on with them, man. I don't know. But we're gonna go ahead and go against them with this 7 points with Toronto, the Road Warriors, and see if they can go ahead and shine through again. So now the final game we're gonna go ahead and handicap today is gonna be Portland versus Minnesota. Now, disclaimer: Ant is out a week or so, so no Ant Edwards in this game, man. No Ant Edwards in this game. Now, this is their fourth meeting, October 22nd. Home game for Portland was their first meeting. Portland +5 came through. Minnesota on the money line, 118-114. Went over the total of 221 and a half, or 222 and a half. The second meeting was February 11th. Home game for Minnesota. Minnesota came through -7.5. Minnesota 133-109, went over the total of 237.5. And then the third meeting, February 24th, home game for Portland. Portland +6.5. Minnesota won again on the money line, 124-121, went over the total of 234. Now, head-to-head last 10, Minnesota is 8-2 straight up last 10. 5-5 against the spread last 10, so it's even on the spread. And then the over is 8-2 last 10. Now, Portland's profile at 3-7 against the spread last 10, 4-2 against the spread last 6 versus Minnesota, 2-9 straight up last 11 versus Minnesota, and 0-5 straight up last 5 at Minnesota. Now, Minnesota 7-13 against the spread last 20, 11-5 straight up last 16, 9-3 last 12 straight up versus the West, and 4-2 against the spread last 6 as favorites. Now, my personal line got this as Minnesota -7, total anywhere between 228 and 231. Now I'm going to go ahead and roll Minnesota at home -3 in this game. I know no Ant Edwards is not playing in this game, but something in me telling me Portland is kind of, I don't want to say they tanking like I'm getting the top 10, top 3 pick tanking, but I don't think Portland, they got a lot going on, a lot of injuries, a lot of key players in and out the lineup. Shaden Sharp been out for a while. They've been teetering. They've been winning here, losing a couple games, winning here, so Minnesota, I think they're like 8-4 without Ant this season. It's not a bad record without a superstar. Now, it's a small sample size. Obviously, you got other teams with way bigger sample sizes without their superstars, but Minnesota, they play, they're over 500 without Ant, and not playing a dominant team in Portland. I think they can pull it out without Ant today. You got Julius. You got a couple players over there that I think that can match up with Portland's guns, whatever they pull out. I think Minnesota still has enough to pull out -3 against Portland at home. So just to kind of go ahead and recap the games that we're taking today, we got Atlanta in Houston. We're taking Atlanta in Houston, getting 4 points. We're going to go ahead and take them, man. Like I said, I think Atlanta, right there with the Lakers as far as hot right now. There's no way I can leave them points on the board and trust Houston with the way they're playing right now. So I'm going to take Atlanta plus the 4. And then the second game we're going to go ahead and take is, the second game we're going to go ahead and take is Toronto versus Denver. We're taking Toronto plus the 7. Like I say, Denver's kind of struggling like Houston right now, man. They're losing the games they're not supposed to be losing. And then you're giving me a team that plays decent on the road, all right, versus the West, 7 points. They match up good. Only got one mismatch, So I like, and then it's a get back game. They lost to Denver. I think Jokic didn't even play that game when they played in Denver. In Toronto. The game they played in Toronto on New Year's. I want to say he might not even played that game. So because there's no way Jokic played with Denver plus 7.5 dogs. So obviously Jokic didn't play that game, and Denver beat him anyway. So this is also another added incentive for Toronto. We lost to them at home without Jokic. We got to get that back. Not saying they're gonna get it back on the money line, but I just think they're gonna be competitive and want to try to get it back. In the third game, we're gonna go ahead and take. We have Portland versus Minnesota. We're taking Minnesota -3 in that game. Taking a favorite in that game. Portland, all right, man. But I just think 3 points is not enough, even without Ant Edwards. That's not enough. Like I said, my personal line, I have Minnesota -7. So with Ant Edwards, it probably would have been somewhere around 6 or 7. He might be worth 3 or 4 points, but I think Minnesota still has enough firepower to hang with Portland and cover that 3 points, if not double it. So like I said, we'll go ahead and try to get that back, man. We've been getting beat up last couple of days, but it's all right. It happens, man. It happens. Got a lot of people sitting out, a lot of people, not focused. So we just gotta dig a little deeper and get that back. It's all good. Want to thank y'all for tuning in to Total Payout Podcast. It's your host Trouble. Once again, I want hope y'all enjoy the episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe. at the end of this episode. You guys have a great day. Great day. Great Friday. It's the end of the week. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, let's go ahead and cash those checks. You guys have a great one. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you.
A heavyweight, they be light work. Change my lane on these niggas and it might